We'll see you on the slide.
That's okay. I'll, anyway, when I do these kinds of presentations, because I've been in marketing for a while, I always like to push a little bit and have a bit of fun as I go through them. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of an education loop this morning, bringing it back from the philosophical end of it and looking at the more traditional elements of marketing. I looked at the presentations of our speakers today, and I've tried to create a presentation that ties it into the fundamentals of marketing. So without anything further here, I'm going to try and do a trick here, which I've just done, and start the presentation. So by projecting historical data, just a second here, just trying to make you a little smaller. There we go. By projecting historical data and trends, and by being students of history, there is a chance. Now, do you have my video at the same time? Can you see my hands? Am I still, you still have my video there?
You're home. Okay. We can see everything.
Okay, I'm just checking because on my screen it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So by being students of history, there's a chance that occasionally we see glimpses of what might be. If there's one lesson learned from the COVID-19 pandemic, it's that businesses must be prepared for the unexpected, embodied in the 3 pillars of sustainable development: social, economic, and environmental. Any enterprise, from micro businesses within the small business definition to medium-sized enterprises and large transnationals, entrepreneurs must be prepared for change. Some change can be planned and some cannot. By following time-tested marketing standards, principles, and ethics, product-based and service-based enterprises can survive any unexpected change. Those marketing principles, and I spoke with marketers in Tanzania and Mauritius as well. No matter what country you are in the world, it doesn't matter. The marketing principles remain the same. So by complying and falling back on basic marketing principles, whoever you're working with in a marketing sense, you can be successful. Pandemics within the context of the dynamic geopolitical events likely characterize the new normal. Marketers, as Dr. Yosef said, can contribute to a better world through their work. Now, this presentation looks at the topics that will be covered by the summit speakers within the context of the marketing fundamentals to project expectations in the short and the long run. Now, I use a lot of little Giphies in this presentation, so some of them are fun. Marketers need not be scurrying throughout their networks, attempting to control events happening at the moment and reacting to change with new strategies and tactics. Marketers don't have to be running around. If you follow the principles, follow the standards, you will not be with this crowd. So what are we looking at with the fundamentals today? It's the 7 Ps. No matter where you go in the world, these fit into everything that you're doing. The fundamentals are of the marketing mix for MSMEs. My specialty is in small to medium-sized businesses. So this is where my expertise lies. The goal is to influence the mind of the individuals and the target audience of the marketing campaign. Now, you heard Yosef talk about that. This is what happens in the marketing mix. In summary, marketing is metaphorically a mind game. Some call it a contact sport. Others say it's all about perception. Now, where are we going with this today? The summit speakers are sharing their best understanding of what is likely to happen in 8 specific subject areas of marketing within the principle of the 7 Ps. Each of the subject areas shares space among one or more elements of the marketing mix. We have brand management, public relations and advertising, effective sales, client experience management, marketing and market research, digital and social media, customer service intelligence, and agile marketing. So I'm going to take each of these and I'm going to fit them into the 7 Ps so that you can see that each one has a role in it. Each is affected. Let's begin by summarizing how selected topics of the summit fit within the first, which is product. Here, but I will just say product with the understanding that we're talking. Elements of product include brand management, which one of our speakers will be talking about, public relations and changed economic and social environmental conditions following the pandemic are likely to affect product quality and standards. Now at this point, I'm going to take a little break and I'm going to give you a little anecdotal experience. This is one of the clients that I worked with. It was a small business, a tanning salon in a small Canadian town, and they're mostly Caucasians who have the disposable tan and enjoy their week in the sun. But now with the pandemic, the salon is closed. Tanning is not essential. There are fewer people with disposable income for tanning because the economy weakened and they lost their jobs. The new social norms require masks and distancing and rethinking of family health and what matters most. Gatherings on crowded public beaches and resorts is no longer considered safe by many, and the tan may be a fading afterthought for personal appearance and social interaction. Millennials and iGens care about the environment and now are questioning products created from natural resources that have a negative impact and services that have little benefit to their generation. Natural environments are changing. They're changing quickly, and many tourist destinations are impacted drastically by climate change and severe weather patterns. The real product of the business, this little tanning business, is to help clients enjoy a unique personal experience enhanced by tanning. Before the pandemic service, quality was very high in this little business, and they delivered according to industry and health standards. So they had a high quality product and they were governed by standards. Post-pandemic, the little business, because there's fewer clients, it must deliver an even higher product and service quality and still maintain the standards that are placed upon them to do business. With failing disposable income of customers, enhancing product experience to increase quality of service to attract new clients while holding repeat clients, this may not be achievable. So let's take a look at some of the others that are here on the product. What other things might be changing? The online and offline availability of products and the source of product components due to geopolitical dynamics. Product innovation, especially from the information generation. Now, if you haven't studied iGens, they're just entering the marketplace in North America right now. This generation is a virtual world. So get to know the background of iGens and understand what their life experiences are, because they're going to introduce things that you and I can't even imagine. We can't even imagine right now. The innovation generation will bring a whole new force on marketers. Now, how an enterprise, small or large, is socially accountable to the public its customers or clients, employees, stakeholders, and itself. You'll hear me talk more about this a little bit later, corporate social responsibility. You know, and at the end of the day, and there's more likely that the scenario is that as time passes, many enterprises, especially the micro businesses, they're going to slip back into their old pre-pandemic ways of marketing. And you know, even if they had any marketing program before, which they probably didn't. So I would expect that, you know, as time passes, all the innovations and all the thoughts that a new change is happening, when they get the chance, they'll be looking at their profit margins. And if they ever had a marketing program before, which may have never existed, they'll slip back into their old ways. So what may be the takeaway from this? Not all products will continue to be needed or wanted by customers. The pandemic will affect what people want to purchase and what they need to purchase. Confusion about product demand and mistakes in reading customer wants and needs will be commonplace among small business entrepreneurs. Millennials and iGens tend to be more discreet in their decisions to purchase products than Generation X and baby boomers. If the notions of sustainable development and resiliency are not embedded in products offered by MSMEs, they are not likely to be in any significant demand. Considering price, relevant subject matter of speakers, including effective sales, digital and social media, and customer service intelligence. These are the ones that I saw that would be most fitting into the price component of the 7 Ps. And this is what I see as changing. Customers may be willing to pay slightly inflated prices for products if they are perceived to be added value in the product within the context of sustainable development and corporate social responsibility. Now, I've got an example to go through here as well. The corporate, I had a small business, or there is a small business that I consulted to, and they became part of the local fabric in order to survive and thrive. They're a small business in the Canadian Arctic that produced yarn from the muskox. The business employed local Inuit people in the production of the yarn, local sales, and harvesting the animals for food and fiber byproduct. This business is pretty much immune from most of the effects of the pandemic and will survive. Online and offline sales may dip through 20 and 21 because some of their customers were affected by the pandemic and closed their shops that depended on tourism and the sale of yarn to tourists. They will reopen, however, and will recover slowly. The business in the Arctic embodies the principles of sustainable development and corporate social responsibility by holding itself to a set of legal, ethical, social, and ecological standards that benefit both the community and itself. Prices may be considered fair and affordable if customers see innovation that improves functionality and performance. Prices are likely to rise as poorer nations become wealthier and wealthier nations compete with higher wages and benefits for employees and availability of agricultural products and raw materials for industry. Geopolitical conflict is likely to affect food, water availability, raw materials for industry, and transport of goods and services. Such uncertainty affecting the supply chain of product and materials and direct availability of food and water may result in fluctuating prices. Products based on sustainable development and corporate social responsibility are likely to see a level of price stability, while products linked to geopolitics and long supply chains are likely to see fluctuations, making it challenging to sustain constant revenue streams and profits to grow in MSME. Profit for small businesses is the same as large businesses. If you're not making a sale and you're withholding a profit so you can invest back into your business, you're going to have a problem. Place. This deals with how the product is distributed to the consumer, not consumer, but the customer. The summit speakers are addressing public relations and advertising, effective sales, and digital social media. These three presentations have an effect on the strength of place in the marketing mix. We are now in an economy where product delivery has become as dependable and available as traveling to a physical place to make a purchase. I live in the Philippines from November through April because I don't want to be cold anymore in the Canadian winter. And my wife of 50 years, and she's a Filipina. We have as many family in the Philippines as we have in Canada. Anyway, in May, my adapter of my Dell computer burned out. It was unexpected, and I needed a new adapter very fast. My mobile business was threatened because I worked from a mobile office. I got lucky because within an hour, I had an improvised adapter from a Filipino computer technician that was in the village. But I needed a Dell part. I could not go to the mall because it was in lockdown due to the pandemic. I was restricted in movement to my property because I was over 60. My only option was to go online and make a purchase. I've done this in Canada, but I've never made online purchases outside of Canada. So I asked questions and learned that there's a reliable source called Lazada, which is a subsidiary of Alibaba. We don't have Lazada in Canada. I placed an order that was cash on delivery, which is another unexpected event. Normally we have to pay up front with a credit card. This was cash on delivery. So the exact part arrived at the driveway, and the delivery date and the cash was paid at the gate. The product delivery was dependable, and I was in no need to travel to a place for the transaction. There are great savings in travel time and costs, and products are a high quality and expected performance. The physical space is becoming reserved for tactile and visual product inspection. Appointments and restrictions on the number of people in the physical space can be expected. This is already normal in Canada. Many of our stores small boutiques and stores are closed. You can only go into it by invitation, and you have to call in advance. Public relations and advertising drives customers and clients to virtual reality stores, warehouses, and social media pages and accounts. Products are being distributed from niche and boutique market spaces. Small and medium-sized entrepreneurs have discovered how to connect with target audiences in places never considered on social media. Travel to regional centers to shop is becoming of less interest and need of people to cocoon from the future pandemics. So people are moving less and they're starting to cocoon. Socializing by millennials and iGens online is now becoming normal. Travel for entertainment, recreation, and purchases of goods and services are now planned events. The concept of place in the marketing mix is transforming and may already have changed in many cultures and societies. This is happening very rapidly in Canada. Going shopping has become an event, whereas before we could just go to the mall. The malls are closed or they're limited in access. So there's usually an invitation to go to a specialized place where 2 or 3 people can do their grocery shopping together and then come back to their home. Promotion. Spreading information through marketing tactics continues to find new avenues as marketing communications technology advances. Promotion is covered by the summit speakers in brand management, public relations and advertising, client experience management, marketing and market research, digital and social media, and customer service intelligence management. MSMEs will continue to engage in the decline of traditional offline advertising because online advertising has become much more affordable and clients are increasingly online. As marketing communication technology advances, MSMEs have access to out-of-home advertising where some may be able to access holograms, and these holograms, they may be as high as a building, many stories high, and mega graphic messages on the walls of buildings are becoming commonplace in some North American cities. Social media networks make local entrepreneurs regional personalities. They're pushing customers to points of sale online and off. Small business into this a lot with small businesses and the micro business subset. Branding to many entrepreneurs is confusing. Now more than ever, entrepreneurs must know that the essence of their brand and the brand promise as defined by their customers. Only then will they have a brand to manage. I have used combinations of SWOT analysis enhanced by client surveys using SurveyMonkey with Constant Contact, MailChimp, and WhatsApp to conduct brand audits to determine the brand of a small business. These include the Net Promoter Score to benchmark client loyalty. The audit enables my clients to work on strategy, tactics, and logo design to manage their brand. Customer and client experience management is now expected by clients and entrepreneurs. If you are not holding the hand of your repeat customers, believe me, your competitors are. Databases and metrics are available to MSMEs as easily as large businesses at low or no cost, now that the internet is part of the human experience. Databases and metrics help drive goals and objectives in strategy development and tactics and implementation. With the advent of digital world and social media, behavior and promotion is regulated through anti-spam and privacy legislation in North America, Europe, and other countries. This will continue to be an underlining force that the marketers have to deal with and understand in their online marketing. The ways to promote are advancing as quickly as the introduction of new technology for communications. VR, AR, and creative messaging online and offline are as important to businesses today as it was in the earliest times when an entrepreneur who had something to say or trade or sell said, "Hey, here I am. I'm over here. Buy my product." Nothing's changed. It remains the same. Many marketers I know joke that marketing is a contact sport. There is much truth in the metaphor that pokes a little fun at people who are directly or indirectly involved with the product or service of an MSME. Now, all 8 of our presentations that follow are involved with people. It touches every one of these ones. Pre-pandemic owners management, staff, and all others engaged in MSME were already engaged or well on their way to creating a positive customer experience while becoming brand ambassadors. All people of a successful enterprise must understand how to maintain a positive customer experience with corporate and product brands, and know the company and product brands to act as ambassadors at all times. Now, this is where I might get a little controversial. An MSE and the people of an MSME must engage in continuous education, and I believe that it must be mandatory for employment. They must understand the concept of sustainable development and customer experience management and how the business fits into the concepts. In this way, they will be better prepared to adapt to sudden change that may be triggered by pandemics. MSMEs nowadays must be driven by evidence-based decision-making, which means reading data and metrics, along with the vision and collective experience of the owners and management. Credentialed ownership, management, and production staff are vital to build trust and confidence in brands, along with basic competencies. And mobile offices, the pandemic has verified that the value of a mobile office and tech-savvy staff, especially in Ontario, where many businesses now have shifted, that senior staff are working from their homes, and in some cases are not expected to return into the late fall. If marketing is not a contact sport, it is definitely and always has been an intimate exchange between a buyer and a seller. Whether the product is something to be consumed or a notion to be advanced. At this point, we've got the dancers going.
So okay, you're the big man. I wanna love you and treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every night. We'll be together with the roof right over our head. We'll share the shelter of my single bed.
I needed that little. I got a couple of slides left and I just took my little break. So let's continue with physical evidence. Online sales is not enough for many customers. Physical evidence of the enterprise is mandatory. They need to visit a place of business to sense the operation, especially visually. To many, a reception room, meeting rooms, goods displayed, and professionals dressed for business are critical factors in conducting a transaction. Now, our summit presenters are talking today about brand management, public relations and advertising, effective sales, customer experience management. These include the physical, these are all included in the P, that's the physical evidence. Now, how this notion adapts to the future will hold more pandemics, and each with a unique characteristic can only be considered an educated guess. In the Philippines, I have a client and close friend who has a resort on Lake Taal. His income was derived from water taxi service and limited accommodations and food services at the point of departure to an island within an active volcano. In January 2020, the volcano erupted, spewing ash for miles. The resort was covered in lahar and the destination obliterated. That was followed by the pandemic. Now, no more tourists and no more income. The physical evidence of an attractive destination is gone. There is little to attract tourists. The tourism business model for the resort to recover and thrive must be rewritten. For many MSMEs, not selling perishable goods like food and pharmaceutical products there may no longer be a need for a physical plant comprised of concrete and steel. Many MSMEs will develop a virtual business relationship and experience with customers. Experiences of the mind will compete with physical attractions. Virtual reality rooms and headsets will change the need for many millennials and iGens for travel and stays at places that may not meet their standards of cleanliness to avoid deadly viruses and bacteria. Just-in-time delivery of products and services will become commonplace, as will MSMEs with no inventory, but samples for customers to see, touch, and smell at neighborhood locations. And language and culture will matter more so than ever before for building trust and confidence in brands. Bottom line is that physical plant is quickly transforming to a virtual space for transacting business. I expect that the presentation on leveraging experiential marketing will reference client experience, the management or client experience management, and will lead to the interaction between the customer and the business through activities. This is process. So we're talking activities now. This is the only one that I saw that would fit into this discussion. What might be changing because of the pandemic, it's likely, or it's highly likely, that the complexity of managing a data-driven customer relations management system will continue to evolve to a customer experience management system. So we're going from the CRM to the CEM. This is slowly evolving, especially in the small to medium-sized businesses. And that means more organic characteristics, or more organic characterized relationships between the client, the business, and the product. There is no doubt that for large transnationals, the CRM will remain as part of the process, but for micro and small businesses, the CEM is key. Virtual and physical touch points for products will likely morph into a hybrid of process where there is a virtual and physical plant. It is likely that the virtual experience will far outweigh the physical, especially recognizing that products purchased online can be returned. Technology for integrated marketing communications will continue to evolve and improve. This sort of marketing technology is designed to capture and hold the mind real estate of targeted audiences who hopefully become repeat customers or clients. Process is like a checklist of activities to make it easy for a potential customer to make a purchase and then return for repeated transactions. Well, that's my take on the summit today and how speaker presentations will fit into the fundamentals of marketing. You know, and who knows what the future will bring. We may be able to project into the near future for weeks and months. Visualizing and strategizing for longer periods is risky and should be undertaken on the notion of evidence-based risk management. That's evidence-based risk management. Okay, AO, I'm done with this. Let's move on to our other speakers today. And
thank you.
I'm done.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mr. Granley. That was awesome, and I'm sure the participants picked very relevant information. Again, this is going to form part of the discussion for the and you have laid the foundation because you have also emphasized the part that each of the other speakers will be making reference to. All of the areas of specialization and branches in marketing will be touched in this summit. We are deliberate about that because we know that we won't be talking about sales alone, but about other branches of specialization in marketing, and that's what this conference is. The uniqueness of this conference. We are going to touch base with all of those areas, and I want to thank you for that was very timely, prompt time. Okay, so we have questions, but I will request that our participants drop their question in the chat room, all right? So that we could take the other speakers. Mr. Granley, are you okay with that? We quickly.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yes.
Okay, so they drop their questions. We can take the next speaker. Then we can just take all the questions together. If that's okay by you.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'll stop sharing here if I can find my screen.
Yeah, you can.
Just click on stop share for me.
Okay, let me see. Okay.
I'm off my screen.
Okay, good. I've done that for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much once again.